Hello, it's Jim from the Early Birds. This is probably going to be the strangest sales pitch video you've ever seen. But today I was talking to somebody and they said, "Oh, I don't have time." I was showing somebody what one of the team builds we're doing in the Early Birds, and they said, "Oh, I don't have time." And I got us thinking, the person was quite young, shall we say, very early 20s, and I thought, you haven't got a clue, what time is, shall we say, because I know there's probably you're going to probably look at this video and you're going to say, "Jim, what the hell are you talking about?" But I'm going to show you a picture, and it got us thinking about something today. I'm going to show you a picture, so I'll drag this picture over here, and you're going to say, "What the hell? What's that got to do with Appi VIP?" For people in this, when you think about it, some people who is watching this video will not have a clue what I'm talking about. They won't even probably recognize that this is a telephone box in the UK. When I was a young, I'm not old. I'm 40, late 40s, should we say? It's getting close to the big 50, put it that way. But when I was a kid, mobile phones didn't exist. People in the houses, only the very, 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 posh people who had lots and lots of money had a telephone in the house. And this was what everybody used as a form of communication. And just bear with us here. I'll just give you the scenario. At the top of everybody's street, and I'm talking about 40 years ago. Okay, so it's not that long ago in history, should we say? But everybody at the top of the street probably had one of these. And after 6 p.m. it was cheaper to call than during the day. So the scenario was that everybody who wanted to make a telephone call would march up to the top of the street or around the corner or wherever, and literally there'd be a queue of people outside of this telephone box, literally, like this, humming and hawing, because the person who's in there was obviously taking the time up on the telephone and they wanted to go through, and you had to put 2p pieces, feed it 2p pieces, 2p pieces, 2p pieces in different parts of the world, maybe quarters or whatever. But there's some people right now, I've never, it dawned on me, I've never experienced that sort of technology. That was the technology of the day. You know what I mean? And then as time went by, so I'm just trying to, like I said, there's some people watching this video will not understand what I'm talking about, and there'll be some say, "God, yes, we used to do that. We would literally stand in a queue outside the telephone box, humming and hawing, waiting for the next person to get out of the box so everybody could make the telephone call." And then we got that. And again, as time, my granny was, I think, one of the first in the street, or one of the very few in the street to have a telephone in the box. And you had to put your finger in it and dial the number. And again, you may be looking at this and say, "Jim, what are you doing?" and laughing. But there's people watching this never have seen that telephone. They'll not understand. And that little button at the top. You would have a telegraph pole outside your house with wires going to all the houses, and there wasn't enough connections, so you'd have to share. It was called a party line. So like your neighbour across the street would share the same line as what you did, and then when you pick the receiver up to start making a phone call, they might have been on the telephone, so you had to press that button over here to switch to another line. I remember my granny screaming at the neighbour, "Get off the telephone," because she was listening to what she was saying. And you would literally put your finger in and dial a number. And I watched a video yesterday, a young'un. This is what got us thinking about. She said, "How do you send a text message?" And she was looking at this telephone. She'd never seen it in her life. And when that person today said to me, they have no time, I thought, you just haven't got a clue. This is what you've got now. You've gone from that in 40 years. And then we had that. Couldn't do much with it, apart from talk.
And then we've got that. I think 99% of most of the modern civilized world has one of them in the hand or daily. And I thought, that just haven't got a clue. You've got no time. It was, I thought, if you had been around 40 years ago, how would you have survived? But there you've got email at your fingertips. You've got text messages at your fingertips. You've got FaceTime. You can actually video call with people. You can phone people. You can Google. Google. When I was a kid, you know what Google was? If you had enough money, set of 12 books on the shelf. And what did they call it? Encyclopedia. What was it called? The man used to come around trying to sell you them. I've forgotten the name of them. What were they called? You have a set of 12 books with all the information of the world, should we say, if you had the money. Just go comment below if you know. I forgot. Just got a mind melt now. I can't remember what they're called. But that was our Google. Computers didn't exist 40 years ago. So when someone says to me they haven't got time, they really believe they didn't have time. Huh? That's what got us. I thought, are you kidding me? So there is basically, if you don't know how lucky you are. So when someone says I've got no time, just think again. You have got a device, at least an iPad or a telephone or a computer, like a smartphone or a computer. There's always time. You don't know how lucky you are. So anyway, again, it's probably the daftest sales pitch I've ever heard, but I wanted to put that across. And I know people have a laugh and a joke. And so going on to the sales pitch, it was one of the early birds team build projects at the minute, Appi VIP. Have a look at it. It'll take you as time. It'll take you like 5 minutes. That takes 40 years ago it would have took you longer to walk to the phone box. So just think about that. And we've put some Complan. We've updated the Complan video on the information page for the early birds. $35 one-time buy-in, and it takes no time. It takes 5-10 minutes. That's 5-10 minutes. Have a look at it. We're building it as a team build in the early birds, the third step. Watch that Complan video. It's a cracking. It's one of those programs that we've been looking for in the early birds. There's so much out there. New project, super duper project. You're going to put this money in and you're going to be a billionaire within a week, and it's all the magic fairies is going to sprinkle the dust and everything else. This is not that program. This is a program where we know we've got to join. The mathematics of the program is spot on. I've studied and studied and studied. The mathematics of the compensation plan is doable. It's easy, as a team. People, I look on the internet at the minute and they say, oh, the early birds is doing that, but they'll have to do something else. And I've seen what they're doing, and not just with early birds, but other team groups. And then the same, you've got team groups who do a team build, and then literally within a week they're doing another team build, and another week later another team build. It's got to stop, people. Time out. It's got to stop, because it's just literally dilution. This program has got some cracking products in there. The comp plan's working. It's paid out over $40 million in 18 months or something. It's the owners, like in this comp plan video, I've talked to the owner. Again, it amazes me. You get people promoting products and they don't even know who the owner is. Join this super duper program, put $100 in and you'll be a billionaire in a week. They don't even know who the owner is. This is a registered company in Canada. Like I said, it's paid out 38 or 40 million, in reference to of what the owner's saying on his hangout. But the numbers are good. And all it takes, basically, is 4 people. And that brings us back to time. If you haven't got time to go and get 4 people, and then even if your direct hasn't got 4 people, you can get your 4, which I've done. I've actually got 6 directs myself. I know how because of the ad spot. And then now I'm helping my 4. My 4's helping themselves. When they've got 4, then there's 2 levels helping the next 4. It's easy done, it. 4 levels, 4 people wide, and it literally can't go anywhere. And 4 people deep, you've completed. And the numbers this guy talks about in this video, it's literally 4 levels deep. That's it, done. It's doable. And if everyone stops with the craziness, has a good serious look at this, I'm telling you, it's just, you know, like I said, you see a lot of people that just got no discipline, no patience. Stop with it. Stop with the crazy programs. Just stop. This has got a product. Have a look at it. And see what the possibilities are. Okay? Anyway, stop waffling. This is, again, it's probably the strangest sales video you've ever seen, but it just come to me, you know, about no time. It's bonkers when people say things like, I've got no time. I haven't, you know, and I just can't believe it. You know, like 40 years ago, like I said, to make a telephone call, you'd walk 5-10 minutes up the street and then wait half an hour outside of a phone box and start stuffing 2p pieces in the box. That was how you made a phone call 40 years ago. And I don't think that's that long ago. I don't feel old. I'm still young. Might, you know, still got a bit of hair. But you get the idea. No time. Hang on. Telephone. Watch. No time. There's the telephone. Oh, no. And it's a computer. And it's in email. Seconds. Right. Have a good weekend. Cheers.